Hi, my garden friends. So, I've learned the craziest thing gardening, one of many. But did you know that you actually bury your potato plants? It's crazy. So, I wanted to take you along. I needed to do that to my potato plants because they're about ready. So, I wanted to show you. Pardon me while I move the camera. I'm new at all this stuff. I don't have all the fancy schmancy equipment. So, we do what we can with what we have. So let me show you. Get this adjusted down so you guys can see. Here we go. So here's my potato bags. You can also certainly use a 5-gallon bucket, very easy to do. What I did was I took potato, you can take a whole potato or you could cut the potato. You just need to remember to leave about 2 to 3 little indentations called eyes on each one. Let it scab over for a couple days, kind of get hard where you cut it before you bury it. But anyhow, so these potatoes have been in here for several weeks. They've grown up nice and beautiful, and so I only have about 4 or 5 inches of soil down in the bottom of this container, and then I covered it with straw so it had mulch, keep the moisture in. And now these have grown up out of the soil and the dirt and the mulch and grown rather tall. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna bury them up to, right below, say, the shoulders of the leaves. And what happens is it will actually grow more potatoes up under here. All these stems will grow more potatoes. So let's get started. So we're gonna take our soil here and we're just gonna scoop it in, put it all around. No problem if you get it on the leaves. You can just kind of shake it off a little bit when you're done. When I saw this the first time, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is crazy. Who in their right mind buries their plants, right? But that's plants. They always do crazy things. So get some more soil in here. Let's level it off. See where we are. We have some shorter ones in here. So I'll try to leave a little bit there for them. I think there's 1 or 2 kind of buried down there. That's okay. So get this all cleaned off. Get this kind of leveled out a little bit. You know, it is a little crooked. I'm trying to leave some of those that aren't quite as tall exposed, but they'll be fine. They'll find their way out. So there we go. So there's our dirt. Now we're going to cover this with some more straw for mulch. Kind of gets everywhere. That's okay. Part of the fun of gardening, getting dirty. So try to cover it with about 1 inch or 2, somewhere around there. Doesn't have to be exact. That's a nice thing with gardening. You know, you can just try out. You learn as you go. Don't be disappointed. Just take everything as a learning curve if it doesn't quite work out first time you do it. Half the fun is just enjoying. All right, so we got that straw mulch on there, and now we'll just give it a good water. So we'll water that new soil that we just put in there. So, you know, I've seen so many videos, read so many blog posts, all different themes talking about whether you can grow the potatoes from your store or not. And I'm here to tell you, half of my potatoes are seed potatoes, and the other half of my potatoes were from a bag of organic potatoes from the grocery store. So I say yes, absolutely, you can grow potatoes that you get at the store. I just highly recommend you get the organic ones. And like I said, you could do this in a 5-gallon bucket. Just make sure it's a clean bucket. You know, it's best if you get a bucket that is food safe. If you look at the numbers on the bottom of the bucket, a number 2 or a number 1 on the bottom. Number 1 is a pet, and a number 2 is a what is it? A HPTE, something like that, if I'm remembering correctly. Both of those are food grade safe, so you can use buckets that have those numbers. Since you're growing food, you want to use one that's good for food. So if you just go to your local hardware store, you can use those ones. You can also get food grade buckets. I know a lot of places that have like bulk foods or something like that, where you can store bulk foods, have the food safe buckets as well. But just your local hardware store will have buckets for, you know, say the food grade ones are a little bit more. I think they're about $4 to $5 a piece. But then you can grow this. So essentially, like I said, you put a layer of about 2 to 3 inches of soil. You stick your seed potatoes in there. Now, I personally like smaller potatoes, so that's why I have about 5 plants going on in this one. If you like larger potatoes, then you would only do, say, 1 or 2 plants per bucket. I personally like smaller potatoes, so I do 4 to 5 plants per bucket. Again, personal preference. The more plants you have in a bucket, the smaller potatoes you're going to grow. So just keep that in mind. And like I was saying, you put about 2 to 3 inches in the very bottom. You put your potatoes in there, and then you completely bury them with about 3 to 4 more inches of soil, and then you throw a layer of straw mulch over the top, and you just keep watering it, and then they'll eventually poke out of the straw, and then they'll start growing up. Once they get, say, about a good 6 inches or so, then you're going to throw another layer of soil on top of them. Leave enough of the leaf structure out exposed so that it can get sunlight. Throw another layer of mulch, and you can do that all the way up the bucket. You're going to do that say 2 or 3 times until you get up to the top here, and then eventually these are going to grow. These will grow up, and then once they start to flower or die off, then that usually means your potatoes are ready, and you can start digging up your potatoes, and you should have lots of fun potatoes all throughout your container. I encourage you to do this. It's a great experiment to do with kids. You could grow your own potatoes with your kids. Show them how to grow their own food that they get to eat. It's a good one to start with. Super fun, especially because you get to bury them. It's very interesting, and I encourage you to do it. Just a little bit. Grow a little bit of your food. It's great for you. Very inspiring. You get more natural food, less processed food. Super healthy for you. It's a great way to start. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. Please, I would love it if you would like, comment, share with your friends. I'm growing my channel here and loving to share what I've been learning. with the rest of you. Enjoy.